Hi, welcome to Chips Orbit. In our previous video, we learned how to work with basic shapes, but even with the Shape Builder tool and the drawing modes, there is a sense of restriction in terms of what you can create. So in this video, we're going to be talking about tools that help you create curves and shapes that are more freeform. These tools really provide you with the freedom to create whatever you want. Firstly, let's check out the brush tool. Here on the toolbar, you'll find the brush tool, or you could just press B on your keyboard. This works just like a real life brush or a pen or a pencil and will just draw wherever you drag your stylus or your mouse. You can increase the stroke size, change the style of your brush. For example, let's see this one. You can even edit the anchor points in a curve after you have drawn it. For example, you could just press A on your keyboard and select any one of these points and move it around. Using these handles that you see here that are coming out of this anchor point, you can change the angle of the curves. For example, if you just pull this handle outwards, you'll see that we are increasing this angle, or you could say that we are softening the curve. So even if it was a hand-drawn line, you could still edit it to make it look more clean and precise. You could also delete an anchor point by pressing P on your keyboard and then pressing the minus key, just like that. Or you could even add an anchor point if you want. Just press P and then plus key on your keyboard and click wherever you want an anchor point, and then you can edit that as well. And you can of course also change its color. Now let's move on to the line segment tool, which you can find here in the rectangle tool. Unlike the brush tool, the line segment tool and the pen tool do not just follow wherever you're dragging your mouse, but you need to pick your first anchor point and then from there decide the place for your next anchor points. After you have decided where you want your first point to be, just click and hold down the click and drag around to place your second point. You can press shift if you want a straight line, and when you're happy with the placement of the second point, you can just let go of the click. Just like the brush tool, you can also change the appearance of your line segment. Let's draw another line so I can show you a quick little feature. So now say that you want these two lines to be joined. You can just select them both and right click and select join. So basically this feature automatically predicts and fills up for the incomplete path. And then you can of course press A and edit those anchor points as well. You can also rotate or reflect these lines or curves. First select it, right click and go to transform. And here you'll see the multiple things that you can do, the various kind of transformation that you can apply. So let's reflect it. You can choose if you want your shape or your curve to be reflected horizontally or vertically. And to see a preview, click here. If you want the transformation to be applied to a copy of it and not the original, just create copy. So then you'll have both your original and the transformed version. You can also change the profiles for your curves and your lines. Just click on stroke and you'll see profiles here, which is basically just these styles in which the width of your curves can change. Now let's move on to the pen tool, which is probably the most powerful tool. When you're using the pen tool for the first time, it can feel a bit intimidating. However, you will soon realize that it actually offers more freedom than even the brush tool. Pen tool also offers really good precision, which helps you in creating sophisticated and clean looking lines and shapes. The brush tool at its best depends on how good hand control you have. With the pen tool though, you don't have to manually draw your curves, but you just have to place your anchor points and decide the angles between them. I'll just show you what I mean. So let's click on a pen tool. You don't have to hold your click down, but you can just click once to place your first anchor point. Let's first draw a simple square and then we'll move on to draw curves. You can also press shift to ensure that your lines are completely straight. As you can see, it is also kind of predicting your path by now. So you can just go ahead and click on the first anchor point now to complete your shape. This way you've created a closed path using the pen tool. Now let's try to draw a curve using the pen tool, and it's also known as the Bezier curve, by the way. To draw a curve, you need those handles that we talked about when we were working with the brush tool earlier. Just click and hold till you see those handles come out. Now in this moment, you have to decide the direction that you want your path to take. For example, right now I'm thinking to draw a semicircle. So from this anchor point, I want the curve to go upwards and towards the right. If I wanted it to go downwards, I'll just take this handle and point it downwards. So when you have decided on the direction, you can let go of the click. Now this curve that you are seeing coming out of your anchor point is free to go into any direction until you place your second point. Remember to hold down the click till you see the handles come out, and only after you are happy with how the handles look, you can let go of the click and move on to the next point. So let me just place the second point here, and I am pulling the handle outwards because that's where I want my curve to go after this. Now I could just press escape and leave this curve open, but since I want a closed semicircle, I want a straight line here. Right now, as you can see, I'm unable to draw a straight line because of this handle. So to break this curve, break this angle, I need to change the direction of this handle. For that, press Alt on your keyboard and then just shift your handle like that in the direction that you want your path to go. And now I can just complete my semicircle like that. The pen tool is a great tool to draw all kinds of shapes and curves for your illustrations or your designs. Adobe Illustrator places a limit on the number of strokes that you can make with the brush tool, but not with the pen tool. Pen tool is, I think, pretty much limitless, and so it is important that you get yourself acquainted to it. And when you get better at it, you can even design your own fonts using the pen tool. I can quickly show you how to draw the letter S, for example, using the pen tool. Just keep placing your anchor points and moving the handles around. I've made this really bad looking S so I can show you that even after you've drawn your curve, you can still edit your anchor points and your handles. When you're happy with your curve, you can format it. You can make it dashed like that. You could change its profile, or you could fill color if it is a closed shape. And now let me introduce you to a very cool tool called the width tool. The width tool helps you change the width of your curve locally. So for example, I'm not really satisfied with how the stroke is wider here just on the bottom of the S and not on the top. I think I want more control over it. So what I can do is use the width tool to change the width around each anchor points. Let me show you what I mean. The shortcut for the width tool is Shift W. Say I want to increase the width around, say, this particular anchor point. I can just click on the anchor point and drag outwards like that. To decrease the width, instead of dragging it outwards, you can drag it inwards like that, closer to the anchor point. And since this is still just the stroke, you can fill a color in it. I suggest you to try out all these basic few things with the pen tool, and to tune in to our future videos where we will be making complex designs in the section 2 of this series. Thanks for watching.